So this is a response I wrote to an email I received from a gentleman who thinks that myself, Rob Menard, and other free men, people who want to be free men, are against Canada and want to destroy Canada. Mark, I really appreciate your phone message. One thing I want to clarify is that I don't think we're on opposite pages. Neither Rob or I is opposed to the government. What we're opposed to is corrupt and unaccountable people. I have nothing personally against anyone. I just want to see people care for each other and do their jobs properly. I love Canada. I benefit from Canada, and what I want to see is a medical system that actually heals people instead of benefits the deep pockets of big pharma. And when 40 years of double-blind clinical trials prove that vitamins can cure mental illness, I want the government to support it instead of shelving it under. I'd rather see people sick and killing themselves than support vitamins and diet. I don't want to see untold millions of people die because of Codex Alimentarius. I want to see people loved and respected, and Indigenous people not left to die in fields and alleys. And if they do, and they're left there by police officers, then I want to see real investigations into what is happening, not departmental whitewashing of situations. If you had read Letters from a Free Man, one of Rob's books, then you would know where his heart lies. It lies with trust, truth, love and justice, and a deep, deep love for Canada. I don't see much of that these days, which is why I love and respect him. We both love Canada. What I see, and I could be wrong, is a boys' club in power run out of control. We need to learn how to effectively hold our governments accountable and ensure that good, reliable, and responsible people are in positions of power. And we need it yesterday. Unfortunately, I don't know if same old is going to cut it anymore. What I want to see is peace on earth and goodwill for everyone, like how Christmas Eve feels every night of the week. I want the government to continue to function properly, be accountable, responsible, and to protect all people. I want to see truth and not lies, and government officials that I don't expect to be lying to me every time they open their mouths. I think both you and I want truth and justice in Canada to survive. I think we just have two different perspectives on how to accomplish this. I'm open to hearing your ideas, and I'm interested in solutions, not conflict. I am not interested in struggle or fighting, just love and justice.
You're a big fan of the police, are you?
Absolutely. Well, if they're going to protect my rights under the alleged Constitution of Canada, I'd be happy to respect the police.
What do you think about the use of tasers? You've seen the video where guys have been shot and killed?
I've seen the one in Vancouver at the airport where that gentleman from Poland, or the one that everybody's familiar with. Yeah, I've seen that live on YouTube. I've seen it.
Do you think police should be using tasers to achieve compliance?
Absolutely not.
Are you aware that they originally said they'd use the tasers in place of the firearms, so that if they were in a position where they could justify using a firearm, they wouldn't have to, they could use a taser? Do you remember that part?
I don't remember that, but that would seem to make sense, except I see people, the police that I've seen and witnessed, they're using it just to get compliance, where people are supposed to bow to their supposed authority.
Do you think if you ask a police officer a question, if he gives you an order, you ask him a question concerning his authority, he then claims that you are obstructing justice by refusing to accept a directive or to comply with his directive, do you think at that point he should get to taser you?
Absolutely not. I've been faced with that exact situation where I've asked questions they were unable to answer, incapable of answering properly. They're just completely ignorant of where their authority ends and where it begins.
Do you think the Canadian people would allow them or want them to have, if it wasn't in the form of a handgun replacement, should we give them cattle prods? Do you think the Canadian people would accept that?
They shouldn't. You know what? Half of them shouldn't even be carrying a gun because they don't even know what's going on. They don't know where their authority lies, where it ends and where it begins, like I've said. And, you know, they need to be educated of what they're supposed to be, and that is peace officers. Because it's funny, they engage you as a policy enforcement officer. That's where they demand license, insurance registration, demand ID, act like a Nazi cop. And then when you start to question them as a man who swore an oath of office, Then they start saying that and then when they charge you, they say you interfered with the duties of a peace officer. So they go from a policy enforcement officer back to a peace officer and claim that they can now taser you. It's a complete and utter nonsense.
Do you think they're switching hats there?
They're switching hats. They don't even know which hat they're wearing.
Have you ever
run back to the peace officer line when they charge you, but they were engaging you as a policy enforcement officer, which doesn't apply to a man who's standing in common law jurisdiction.
Have you ever read the definition of peace officer in the Criminal Code of Canada?
Yes, I have.
Are you aware that you do not have to be an agent for the government in order to be a peace officer?
That is correct. We can all engage in that capacity.
So if I wanted to hire you as a peace officer, do you think you're up to the task?
Yep. And I don't need a taser to do it.
Thanks for your time, Luke.
Okay.
More, and the next thing I know, I'm the guy who's spouting to my friends, right? And they're saying, well, does it work? Where do you go with this? You know, and it's not just about money, though. I guess that's the thing I got to say, because you guys have all touched on it, and it really is the the light within. We know it's wrong. You know, we're all good people. We all know in our hearts we're good people, and there's no need for other people to be telling people how. We're all living in peace. So that's where I get irked, is where, I'm just trying to live a good life. I want to get out of the city, and I don't need somebody telling me how to do that. And so I want to break free.
Let's hear from Christine, eh? And then we'll close it up and we will close it. You can do whatever you like, sister.
So, well, I heard everybody talk, and everybody resonated with me. Now, I have a little bit I want to share. I come from a real communist country, and I went through
with an accent like that.
Pennsylvania, and it's for real. And I went through hell to get here. And why I did that? It's because I wanted freedom. At 18, actually, I tried crossing the borders, and I got caught. Got thrown in jail for whatever political discrepancies that I had with the government, and I went through hell to actually obtain freedom. So when I came here, I was really happy, but then it started to change. I'm seeing day by day that communism is coming here. So unless we stand up and do something, it's not going to be pretty. In Romania, for 30 years they pushed us and did whatever they wanted with us, because nobody would stand up. Everybody was afraid that they would, whatever it would happen to them, till the day when everybody was fed up. And that day is coming really, really fast here. I see it.
Unless we find remedy, which comes with the heart.
I know. And when I talk to a lot of people, they say, oh, that's not true, Here, it's freedom. You have everything you want. I said, well, everything I want except freedom of speech and other things. But yeah, I'm being told what to eat and what supplements I can take and what I cannot take. In Romania, I wasn't allowed to eat what I wanted because you couldn't buy it. Now here, they are taking it away from us. So we do have to do something. And I'm really, really honored to be here. 2 days ago, we found out about this meeting. We drove down 6 hours to be here.
Wow.
And,
Well, we're glad you did.
Yeah, we are very glad we did. And tomorrow at 9, or today at 9, I have patients, so I don't know how I'm going to take it back home. But yeah, I'm very glad to be here. So yes, keep fighting.
You need to see this picture, understand.
We were talking to our kids about, what would happen if the power got shut off, the grid got shut off, and if they blocked the roads, they wouldn't let us leave the city. They know that half the population would die in 30 days. They know that. Okay? They've actually printed studies, running those numbers and stuff. Why would the government need to know that kind of information? So, what we told the kids, well, we have a safe place to go. we have supplies. We can get out of the city. I've made arrangements, you know, if it ever happens.
I've
So
got a Hummer, this way to say.
I don't need roads. So, you know, kids are kids, right? They accept what you tell them. You know. So Brooklyn was over.